Hi, I'm Daniel from ligo.co.uk and these are the Viking Osprey ED binoculars. The Ospreys are a brand new set of binoculars that have just been launched by Viking, and they're now the highest spec binoculars that the brand produce. They've aimed to create something that can compete with other models around the £500 to £1,000 mark, while still offering the same great value for money that you'll find in their less expensive binoculars. We've been really impressed with Viking's range in the past, but do these live up to their reputation? Let's take a look. Let's start out with a little unboxing to show you what comes with the Ospreys. They come in this nice cardboard case, a bit more eco-friendly than some other packaging that involves more plastic. Open that up, flip the lid open. Got the binoculars themselves, come in this nice padded case. Nice good quality case there, especially considering it's free. Binoculars themselves inside here come with rain guard, one piece rain guard there. It's ridged so it won't break when you bend the binoculars. Eye cups which sit inside the barrel to give a little bit more protection. They also come with a nice free cleaning kit, which is very good when you've got high quality binoculars. Obviously you want to keep them nice and clean, get the most use out of them. There's a little kit in there inside a case. If I just open that up to show you. Case here makes it easier to take the kit back with you. Inside you've got microfiber cloth, a bottle of cleaning fluid which won't damage the lens coatings, and a little retractable brush. Just push that out so you can keep the lenses nice and clear and not scratch them. And there's also a nice padded strap as well, a bit better quality than some of the other free ones, so all good. In terms of the basic design, the Ospreys are pretty similar to the rest of Viking's lineup. If I just put the Peregrine, which is previously their highest spec binoculars, next to the Osprey for comparison, you'll see that they're fairly similar, but there are a few key differences that's worth highlighting. First and foremost, the Osprey has a fair bit more weight to it than the Peregrines. At 695 grams, they're still quite lightweight for flat field binoculars, but that extra weight does come from the higher quality components inside. Like the Peregrines, and indeed all of Viking's binoculars, the Ospreys have a rubber armour coating. However, unlike the Peregrine, which has this smooth finish to it, the Osprey has a more textured feel to the rubber armour coating. That might not seem like much of a difference, but in practice, all those little nooks and crannies help give your fingers a little bit more grip onto the binoculars, so if you're using them in wet conditions, you'll be a little less likely to drop them. The focus wheel and diopter ring on the Osprey are both metal, as you'd expect from higher end binoculars, and they're both ridged as well, which again makes it really easy to use these in wet conditions. Focus wheel on the Ospreys are slightly longer than the one on the Peregrine, which in practice makes it a bit easier to find with your fingers and adjust while looking through the binoculars. You also get a bit more precision with the focus wheel on the Ospreys, as it takes 2 full turns to go from min to max focus, whereas with the Peregrine and indeed most of the other binoculars from Viking that I've tested, it takes about 1.5 turns from min to max focus. Some people might find that it takes ever so slightly longer to focus the Ospreys as a result, but it does mean that you get a sharper image with whatever you're looking at, because you can really adjust the focus down to whatever it is that you're looking at. One final design difference, only a minor one, is that instead of the plastic Viking logo and ED symbol that you get on the rest of the binoculars, they've replaced these on the Osprey with a kind of gold coloured metal, presumably to denote that these are their highest end binoculars. The Ospreys also come with a case, as I showed you earlier. This one feels really nice and solid, as you might expect from higher end binoculars. Unusually for binoculars cases, it comes with a strap already attached, which is a nice touch, and the belt loop as well on the back if you'd rather wear it that way. There's also a pocket inside, so you could put a notepad and pen, or the lens cleaning kit, which you get with them in there. All in all, really good quality. So that's all about the design. Now onto the optics. Now, because of the jump in spec between the Ospreys and the Peregrine, there is a fair jump in price as well. Peregrines are about £300, these are about £500. However, in terms of performance, these are on a par with, if not slightly better than, something like the Hawk Frontier APO 8x42s, which are about £600, so these are still really good value for money. They have ED glass, which is pretty standard for higher end binoculars. This dramatically cuts down on the amount of light refraction compared to standard glass, so the image that hits your eye is a lot more colourful and true to life. The coatings on the Osprey are also completely different from the ones that they've used on the Peregrine, which again really improves colour and contrast. So even comparing like for like 8x42 Ospreys and 8x42 Peregrines, subjects stand out a lot more with the Ospreys because of that additional colour. The big difference here though is that the Ospreys are flat field binoculars, in contrast to standard binoculars where the image tends to blur ever so slightly the closer you get to the edge. Flat field binoculars give you a nice clear image all the way to the edge. As for performance, the Osprey more than holds its own against significantly more expensive binoculars, and if you're used to a model around the £300 mark like the Peregrine, you'll really notice a difference with these. In particular, the improved colour and contrast makes them a really good choice for bird watching because they're easier to find your subject, because they stand out a little bit more, and because of that extra focus precision, you can really narrow it down exactly to whatever it is that you're looking at to effectively completely eliminate any chromatic aberration, so you get a really clear image. I also found that the flat field design of the Ospreys made a really big difference to how I was using them. The clarity of image all the way to the edge makes it really good for tracking moving objects, again really good for bird watching. And I also felt that even though the magnification is the same between these and other 8x binoculars, it almost felt like I was using 10x binoculars with these because of that superior image clarity all the way to the edge, almost as if you're getting a more widescreen image of whatever it is that you're looking at. They make an 8x magnification and a 10x magnification version of the Osprey. Really comes down to personal preference since they're both 42mm aperture size, but like I said, I found the 8x magnification to be more than enough just because of that really good clarity. One last thing about performance that I've not already covered, the Ospreys come with twist down eye cups, as you'd expect with most binoculars. Because of the flat field design, the edge of the eye cups is a lot thinner than what you get with standard binoculars, which I found made them really comfortable to use for long periods of time because you can push them right up against your eyes and you don't really notice that you're using them. So if you've got a long day of binoculars use ahead of you, these would be really comfortable to use. So there we have it, the Viking Osprey, an excellent set of high-spec binoculars that comfortably hold their own even against other models with a 4-figure price tag. If you've got any comments or questions about these, or suggestions for other products you'd like us to review, pop a comment below, and to get your hands on some for yourself, go to ligo.co.uk.